is marching as to war, with the cross of Jesus going on before. Christ the royal master leads against the foe. Forward into battle, see his banners go. Onward, Christian soldiers, marching as to war, with the cross of Jesus going on before. Oh, for a faith that will not shrink, though pressed by every foe, that will not tremble on the brink of any earthly woe, that will not murmur or complain beneath a chastening rod, but in the hour of grief or pain will lean upon its God. A faith that shines more bright and clear when tempests rage without, that when in danger knows no fear, in darkness feels no doubt. Lord, give us such a faith as this, and then whate'er may come, we'll taste and hear the hallowed bliss of an eternal home. A charge to keep I have, a God to glorify, a never-dying soul to save, and fit it for the sky, to serve the present age, my calling to fulfill. Oh, may it all my powers engage to do my Master's will. Arm me with jealous care, as in thy sight to live, and O thy servant, Lord, prepare a strict account to give. Help me to watch and pray, and on thyself rely, assured if I my trust betray, I shall forever die. Rise up, O man of God, have done with lesser things. Give heart and mind and soul and strength to serve the King of Kings. Rise up, O man of God, his kingdom tarries long. Bring in the day of brotherhood and end the night of wrong. Rise up, O man of God, the church for you doth wait. Her strength unequal to her task, rise up and make her great. Lift high the cross of Christ, tread where his feet have trod, as brothers of the Son of Man, rise up, O men of God. Good afternoon, Laura. Old prospector here. About ready to dig into the word, see what nuggets we can find. For there be gold in them there pages. By cracky. By cracky. I hope we're having a great day. I don't think I could do the entire program just by doing this voice here, you know. Well, don't that beat all? I could try. But you know, there's going to be times when I mess up. Oh, I need to send this into some messenger. Boop, boop, boop. Boom, boom. Okay, send. And send. There we go. Done. Dun, 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 dun. More options. Hey, there's Sean. Group. And post. Teresa, and you are finally heading home. Good to hear. Wait a minute. Are you typing while driving or is she driving? Hello, CJ. Are you ready to go digging for some more golden nuggets? Eating lunch or doing dishes? Haha. Guess we're not doing that book. Got the boys off to work today. I mean, as in they're headed off to work. You want me to say arg in a pirate voice. Why would I do that? We're prospecting, not fishing. Please pray for you. Your mouth is hurting and you're taking ibuprofen for the pain and swelling. Well, we'll definitely keep we keep praying for you though, Sean. That's the thing. We need to pray harder, huh? That's one of the things I told my doctor. I said I don't want to take any narcotics. None. Um, you might see about getting. So I think it's Laura. Correct me if I'm wrong. Isn't it turmeric that's good for pain and swelling? I'm pretty sure Laura's into the. I'm pretty sure it's Laura, not Catherine. Maybe it's both of them that are into the essential oils and can help. Can refresh my memory on that and into the holistic there. I believe it's turmeric. See, invest in some turmeric, whether you take it as a pill form or you take it as powder. Use it in your food and stuff like that. Turmeric helps inflammation. I was pretty sure it was you. You and Vera and my mother. And a couple others in here. I'm trying to remember. Just for CJ, though. He likes my pirate voice, don't ya? You better get on them dishes, boys, or I'll kill all ya. Scrub that deck, my matey. Arrgh. Don was the other one. But still, I mean, you still are good into the holistic as well. Not just the essential oils, but also uh, the herbs and it's amazing what we pick up. We may not be so big into it, but it's amazing what we pick up just listening it, right? I told my doctor I won't take any narcotics. I refuse to take narcotics. You had to get out of the car while Teresa was driving? Come, come, come. She is a safe driver. She's not the little old lady from Pasadena. Go, Granny, go, Granny, go, Granny, go. And we were saying that um, get some turmeric. Turmeric is good for inflammation. Sounds like you need to come over and visit my chiropractor. I don't know how he does it, but he actually relieved me of a allergy to pine needles and polyester. Well, well, well. 'Tis such a deep subject for such a shallow mind. A well is. Amazing how much dust goes through this room. But then when you're prospecting, what else can you be expecting but dust, eh? Well, and that's the thing. You don't have to get them. You don't have to get them filled at the pharmacy. That's the thing. Sensitivity to smells. Ton of allergies. Well, it's just like I can't be around any man-made smell. Now, natural smells I can be around all day, and it not hurt me, not affect my sinuses. But I stay away from two aisles in the store, those scented candles aisles, or the laundry detergent. CJ will be in about 5 to 10 minutes. He's almost done with school. Good. At least you're applying yourself. Alicia?
You call me?
Yes, I did. Would you find the potatoes? And you need to wash and peel about 20 or so of those. Time to start digging for lunch, too.
I think I have them out in the kitchen.
Pain makes you stronger in a way. I've been through so much pain that I'm used to it. No pain, no gain. Pain also makes you weaker. Pain initially can make you stronger, but length of pain makes you weaker. And you don't have to talk to me about pain. That's a that is a familiar companion. All right, well, enough with the chit chat. Looks like we've got three of us in here today: CJ, Laura, and Sean, and that's probably all we're getting for now. So let's get into our Noontime Nuggets. And I don't know why I just put that book back there because I'm not even going to use it. We are reading from Proverbs 19 today. Hello, Heather. Hey, she made it in. Proverbs 19 is where we're going to be digging today, and as O'Shea would say, there be gold in them pages, let's dig. Better is the poor that walketh in his integrity than he that is perverse in his lips and is a fool. Also that the soul be without knowledge, it is not good. Yes, I should not forget about Teresa. Thank you, Sean. Teresa, my apologies. Your name isn't on the stream, so I tend to forget that you're sitting right there within easy arm reach of slapping the snot out of Sean. Heather's at work, so her comments may be few today. Well, have a good day at work, and we hope that you're edified during your time with us this morning. Or this afternoon, actually. Also, that the soul be without knowledge, it is not good. And he that hasteth with his feet sinneth. The foolishness of man perverteth his way, and his heart fretteth against the Lord. Wealth maketh many friends, but the poor is separated from his neighbor. A false witness shall not be unpunished, and he that speaketh lies shall not escape. Many will entreat the favor of the prince, and every man is a friend to him that giveth gifts. All the brethren of the poor do hate him. How much more do his friends go far from him? He pursues them with words, yet they are wanting to him. He that giveth wisdom loveth his own soul. He that keepeth understanding shall find good. A false witness shall not be unpunished, and he that speaketh lies shall perish. Delight is not seemly for a fool, much less for a servant to have rule over princes. The discretion of a man deferreth his anger, and it is his glory to pass over a transgression. The king's wrath is as the roaring of a lion, but his favor is as dew upon the grass. A foolish son is the calamity of his father, and the contentions of a wife are a continual dropping. That looks interesting. House and riches are the inheritance of fathers, and a prudent wife is from the Lord. Amen. Slothfulness casteth into a deep sleep, and an idle soul shall suffer hunger. He that keepeth the commandment keepeth his own soul, but he that despiseth his ways shall die. He that hath pity upon the poor lendeth unto the Lord, and that which he hath given will he pay him again. Chasten thy son while there is hope, and let not thy soul spare for his crying. A man of great wrath shall suffer punishment, for if thou deliver him, yet must you do it again. Hear counsel and receive instruction, that thou mayest be wise in thy latter end. There are many devices in a man's heart. Nevertheless, the counsel of the Lord shall stand. The desire of a man is his kindness, and a poor man is better than a liar. The fear of the Lord tendeth to life, and he that hath it shall abide satisfied. He shall not be visited with evil. A slothful man hideth his hand in his bosom, and will not so much as bring it to his mouth again. Smite a scorner, and the simple will beware. And reprove one that hath understanding, and he will understand knowledge. He that wasteth his father, and chaseth away his mother, is a son that causeth shame, and bringeth reproach. Cease, my son, to hear the instruction that causeth to err from the words of knowledge. An ungodly witness scorneth judgment, and the mouth of the wicked devoureth iniquity. Judgments are prepared for scorners, and stripes for the back of fools. All right. We've examined the vein of gold. Let's see what we can pull out. Better is the poor that walketh in his integrity than he that is perverse in his lips and is a fool. Hello, CJ. He got his schoolwork done. You know, I think I remember not too long ago there was a couple that of gentlemen that did a series of lessons about a famous man from the Bible. And this man, he had such strength of character, even as a young lad of 17, that he refused to lie about what his brothers were doing when they were doing evil. And these gentlemen talked about how that was integrity. You might want to check it out. I think here on CEM is listed as the Joseph Gospel Edification meeting. CJ will give us a link. He's sitting there acting all funny, like he doesn't have anything to do. So since he's twiddling his thumbs and whistling Dixie, he might as well give us a link to that. But it's better to be poor and be upright, to walk in integrity, to do the right thing for the right reasons, even when no one else is watching or no one else is standing with you. than to have perversity, to speak lies, or to be a fool. CJ is demonstrating in his schoolwork that the soul needs knowledge. That's why he's going to school. He's learning knowledge, or at least he's supposed to be. But, the person who just simply runs from one event to another in his life, hastening to, like this. If you're walking down the street and you're on your way to get a gallon of milk and a loaf of bread from the grocery store, and you hear a noise 4 or 5 streets over, are you going to run to see what's going on with the clamor? Are you going to chase the fire truck that goes rushing by, or the ambulance? And forget that you needed milk and bread? He that hasteth with his feet sinneth. If you don't stay focused on what is good and what is and what is upright, then you're running with your feet to do sin. Thank you, CJ. Notice what it is that perverts the way of man. That's Proverbs chapter 7, by the way, or 6, by the way, Sean. I believe it's 6. There are 7 things that the Lord, or 6 things that the Lord hates. Yea, 7 are an abomination to the Lord. The foolishness of man is what perverts his way. Not the wisdom of man. The stupidity of man perverts his way. It is. It's Proverbs chapter 6. CJ will have that reference because he's got that wonderful memory of his. Wealth maketh many friends, but the poor is separated from his neighbors. 6:10. What? Go that way. Up. Just type it. Just give me the numbers. I'll get there. Wealth maketh many friends, but the poor is separated. Yes, fretteth is worrying. His heart fretteth against the war. Not necessarily worrying. In this regard, fretteth would be more along the lines of battle or combats. That's what I said. Proverbs 6:10. 6 through 10. The word fretteth means to boil up, to be angry, to be peevish. Here. And so it's more of an idea of being combative, argumentative. That's being portrayed here. To be vexed, to be wroth, angry at, to be enraged, to be out of humor. Does that help? So foolishness of man, the stupidity of man perverts his way. And understand that when your way is perverted, you're going to be vexed at the Lord. Because God's not doing it my way. You already put that one up. Did you put the whole oh, the playlist? Okay, the YouTube. I see. So when your stupidity corrupts your way, and you start railing and being angry and upset and irritated and ticked off at the Lord, change your way. It's not God's fault. It's your own stupidity that landed you in this. Wealth maketh many friends, but the poor is separated from his neighbor. You know, when a person has money, it's when the relatives come out of the woodwork. Yet the poor is separated from his neighbor. As soon as you lose all your money, you lose all your friends. Those fair weather friends that were only with you because you had the money, they're gone. Blown away. Cross-reference Proverbs 19:4 with the prodigal son. Is that, I wanted to say Luke 14, but that's not quite right, is it? What family? Oh, when you have money is when the relatives come out of the woodwork. CJ's getting out his Bible, making a big show of it. But as soon as you don't have money, all your friends are gone. Huh. I was close. It's Luke 15. I was one chapter off. Luke 15. Cross-reference Proverbs 19:4 with Luke 15 verses 11 through 32. I don't know. I didn't put that in there while I'm thinking about it. No. The love of money is a root of all evil. It is not the definite article of the. It is a root of all evil. It is not the only root of all evil. All right. See you then. And we need to make that distinction. It is not wrong to be wealthy. It is wrong in how, what makes having money wrong is how you use that wealth that God has given you. The love of money is not the only root of evil, but it is a root of all evil. For example, wouldn't you say that murder is wrong? We would all agree that murder is evil, right? Well, if I murder simply because I don't like the way you look at me, is that because I was loving, I had a love of money in my heart? No. If if I went and I kidnapped your wife and committed that which was wrong, raped her, would that we would agree that was that was evil, right? But was that because I loved money? No. So we see that the concept is foreign. The love of money is a root of evil, a root of all evil, but is not the only root of all evil. Evil has a large root system, whether it be money, it be coveting another man's wife, whether it be coveting a car, or perhaps it might just be, you know what, I feel empty. There's got to be something more. And we could go on and on. We could talk about power. We could talk about um, hatred. We could talk about all sorts of evil things that are going on, that go on a daily basis. There are many roots, many causes. One of the causes, only one of the causes, is the love of money. Or the love of money is only one of the causes. We may think that verse 5 here, a false witness shall not be unpunished, and he that speaketh lies shall not escape. We may think that, oh, hey, I can tell this lie and get away with it. But eventually, that lie will gobble us up. And we'll become entrapped in our own words, our own little web of lies. Eventually, the truth will be found out that, hey, we were just, we told a lie about this person before a judge and got him into trouble. And what's going to happen? We're going to have the book thrown at us because we committed perjury. A false witness shall not be unpunished. It may not happen here on this earth, but remember, like we read in Psalm chapter 33 today, God overlooks from heaven and sees all. He knows the deeds of all men, and he considers them. Hey, Teresa, glad to have you back. So a false witness may escape this life unpunished, but he'll never escape God, the righteous judge, unpunished. And in reality, he knows what he's done, and the guilt will actually eat at him. It may not appear to, but it will. All the brethren of the poor do hate him. How much more do his friends go far from him? He pursues them with words, yet they are wanting from him. Even his siblings hate him. His family. Remember what I was saying about the when you have money, your family, all your relatives come out of the woodwork, even ones you never knew you had. Brethren of the poor hate him. They're ashamed to have a brother that doesn't have any money, that is always constantly poor. How much more to his friends when they find out exactly how bad off he is, go far from him, don't want to have anything to do with him. He goes to them, calls on them, and can never find them. They're never there. They weren't friends to begin with. Welcome back. The discretion of a man deferreth his anger. How many times have we? CJ probably has never had this happen to him. How many times have we been caught speeding, and the officer either reduced the amount that we were speeding by, or let us go with only a warning? Back in my wildest days, I used to get a speeding ticket every other year. One ticket every other year. Don't ask me. Maybe that one ticket was good for a whole year and a half. I don't know. But, you know, there's two things important to think about. When you are respectful to the officer, you have a much better opportunity at reducing the amount of the speed and thus the amount of the ticket. Hey, Vera. And in that way, if you use your discretion and you are respectful to the officer, you will defer his anger over you speeding, and he will typically reduce your amount, thus also the amount of the fine. Or he, at his discretion, having either he may use his discretion because of your discretion. He may reduce your ticket, or eliminate it, saying you just need to watch your speed. Discretion is a wonderful thing and is allowed to be used. It means you consider the circumstances and you make a judgment call. Sean relates with what I was saying about the 19 verse 7. I had to think where I was at when he started typing that. His experience with 19 verse 7, which is that all the brethren of the poor do hate him. How much more do his friends go far from him? He pursueth them with words, yet they are wanting to him. When he finally decided to get off all the drugs and quit drinking and quit smoking cigarettes and strive to live for Jesus, all of his so-called friends quit coming around because he quit buying all that junk. They weren't there. Hey, you want to hang out? No. You want to do some drugs? No. Well, see you later. Don't have any time for you. The discretion of a man deferreth his anger. At your judgment, it is your judgment which will either lend itself to your anger or will appease your anger. And it is his glory to pass over a transgression. It also says in one of the Proverbs says that a gift in the right place will appease the judge in essence is what the thing says. Paraphrasing, of course. A foolish son is the calamity of his father. Anybody here know what a calamity is? There used to be a show called Calamity Jane and the Sundance Kid. You remember what a calamity is? Ruin? Ruin's a good way to describe it. chasm of destruction, engulfing ruin. A foolish son, one who continuously makes bad choices. In today's language, we wouldn't say foolish son, we would say stupid. One who makes stupid choices is the calamity, is the ruin of his father, the engulfing ruin. Notice how that is compared in the same manner. It's likened unto the contentions of a wife, the arguings, the constant nagging of a wife are as that faucet that constantly drips. Even though you've shut it off, it still drip, 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 night and day, drip, drip, drip. A son who makes stupid choices is the ruin of his father. The naggings of a wife are as annoying as that faucet that constantly drips. Which is probably, Mr. Husband, why she's nagging at you. Just saying. You might want to get that faucet fixed. The word here, contentions, is brawling. So it's more than just a nagging. It's actually more of an argument. Does anybody here want to come home to a home where there's constant arguing? Agreed, Teresa. Husbands can be as well. I always find it interesting that as soon as one gender is ever spoken of, someone else has got to pop up and say, "Well, the other side, same way too." Yeah, you're right. His point is still the same. The brawling, the arguing, the constant arguments. No, 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 Sean. That's wrong. It's not happy wife, happy life. It's happy spouse, happy house. Because we're in this together. If I'm not making her happy, she isn't going to be making me happy either. If she's not making me happy, then our house isn't happy either, right? We need to make sure that and I just said that, didn't I? The other side is true too. Well, it needs to be an equal. Marriage is an equal. Man and woman becomes one flesh. That means they become united in heart and purpose. I don't like this idea of we've got to be bowing and scraping to the needs of one or the other. It used to be there's always that household where and many out there, many people out there can attest to this, where the man constantly browbeats the woman. And there was a time in our society when men were considered and not all men were this way. Not all men considered it this way, but men were considered as the pinnacle of the social chain. Women, on the other hand, weren't even allowed to vote, weren't allowed to work and do what have you. And what we have then was a movement entitled the feminist movement that began. And folks, that movement has an ungodly aspect to it. And it needs to be very carefully examined in light of the scriptures. As does the aspect that men are the pinnacle of the chain, because that's not the way it goes. No, Sean, I'm not even going to go that far. Marriage is not 50-50. I'm going to argue with you on this one. Marriage is a 100-100. If you aren't given 100% of yourself and having them give 100% of themselves, the marriage is not going to work. It must be a total and 100% commitment, because you made a 100% commitment before God and before man to be committed 100% to that wife, and conversely the wife to the husband. It needs to be 100-100. 50-50 means, hey, there's an opportunity for me to get out of here. It means if things go sideways and I don't like how things are going, then I'm just going to go ahead and take my other 50% and leave. If you're only given 50%, then there's another 50% that's being lazy and not doing anything. Wandering eyes, perhaps. We need to make sure that it's 100-100. And both need to be making that marriage work. That's why I say here in Proverbs 19:13, does anybody want to come home to a house that is where there is constantly arguing? The minute you walk in that door, an argument develops. Hi, Ezra. Well, the contentions of a wife, the contentions of a spouse, in modern day language, are a continual dropping. Great minds think alike, Vera. We're all united in that. That means we're giving 100% of ourselves to this conversation. Notice this. I want you to notice. People want to look at the Bible and they say that that the Bible is chauvinistic, that that it's man-centered, and that basically man is the height and women are a subclass, and they get that, of course, from the text like Ephesians 5, where it talks about how women are to submit themselves to their husbands. But I want you to notice verse 14. Houses and riches are the inheritance of fathers. I'm going to be, when I die and I pass on, I'm going to leave my house, the house that I've worked hard for and purchased, and all my worldly goods to my kids. But look at the second half of that. A prudent wife is from the Lord. Where do we get our wives? It's not from our fathers. It's not from our mothers. It's from God. how much more should we cherish our wife than the house and riches, which we'll never take with us, which we may never keep, but they are a precious gift from the Lord, especially prudent ones. Now, if you have a foolish wife, I suppose that's not from the Lord, because only prudent wives are from the Lord, according to Proverbs 19:14. All joking aside, though, we need to be cherishing our wives because they are a gift from the Lord, which, by the way, also is where we get our children from. If our wives are from the Lord, and we get our children from our, our wives are how our children come into this world. There you go. Our children are an heritage from the Lord as well. You know how I know this, CJ? Like I told my wife when we got married, that's my bed too. You don't want me to sleep on my bed? Then you go to the couch. I'm sleeping in my bed. You can sleep with me, or you can go to the couch, but I'm sleeping in my bed. There will be none of this sending me to the couch. And you know what? She's never sent me to the couch yet. And I've never, ever sent her to the couch. Now, I have voluntarily went to the couch when my back was hurting me. I'd get up in the middle of the night. My back's killing me. I can't sleep on this bed anymore, especially when it's our old bed. And I would go lay on the couch. But it was because we have a reclining couch and I can recline backwards and it works better that way for my back. And there have been times when she has fallen asleep when she was sick on the couch. But we have never voluntarily, and we have never, ever out of anger sent each other to the couch because we have practiced this other saying, let not the sun go down on your wrath. Your marriage must be 100% from both partners, and that means that you must also quickly agree or come to a resolution in your arguments. Do not let the sun go down on your wrath means don't let it fester overnight. You're going to get even angrier. You're going to get even more upset and more bitter at this wonderful, wonderful gift from the Lord. Laziness casts into deep sleep. An idle soul shall suffer hunger. Proverbs speaks a lot about laziness. You know that? Proverbs 19:16. Cross-reference that with John 14:15. And the entire book of 1 John. He that keepeth the commandment, that keepeth his own soul. If you love me, keep my commandments. Herein is love, we read in John chapter 2, 1 John 2, verse 3, in that we keep, or herein that we know him when we keep his commandments. 1 John 5:3, herein do we love him when we keep his commandments. Proverbs 19:16, cross-reference with John chapter 14, verse 15, and 1 John, the entire book. Look at this. He that hath pity on the poor lendeth unto the Lord, and that which he hath given will he pay him again. God knows all things, as we read in Psalm 33 today. He considers our works. God knows when we lend to the poor, when we give to the poor to help. Don't seek the attention of anybody but God when you give to the poor, by the way, is what Jesus says in Matthew chapter 6. But he says, God will pay to you what you have given. Don't do it because you expect payment. Do it because it's the right thing to do. And remember, when you give to the poor, you're giving to God. Hebrews chapter 12 cross-references very well right here. Whom I love, I chasten, the Lord says in Hebrews chapter 12. Chasten thy son while there is hope, and let not thy soul spare for his crying. You know, once our children reach a certain age, there will be no more ability for us to really chasten, to punish, to bring back into a right way. Not much. Teach them while they're young. And that in times includes punishment. Realize, though, that this temporary punishment is not going to hurt him in the long run. It's going to do him good. We go out and with roses and with a lot of other plants, you go out and you train them up and you clip and you prune the unruly spots out, that they might produce a much more appealing fruit or flower, a better fruit, a prettier flower. Well, the same is true with children. We must prune out the evil ways, the bad habits from our children. And that pruning can take many forms. But we should never simply let him get away with doing that which is wrong. A man of great wrath will suffer punishment, because if you deliver him once, you're going to have to deliver him again. His temper, he will not have learned his lesson. For a while, I've known one who spent a good portion of time in jail. Not because he spent time as in a consecutive amount of time in jail, or as in, say, several years, but rather he would spend a night in jail for doing speeding, for example. He sped too much and got his license taken away. Then there was other times when he would be in jail for, at one point in time, he was in jail in Mexico for some matter and had to be rescued. And what was happening is that initially, every time he was thrown in jail, his grandparents would bail him out. Was he learning anything from his time? Yeah. He learned his grandparents would bail him out. He didn't have to suffer the punishment. He should have been left to sit and do his time in jail. And perhaps he would have learned not to do the stuff that he had been doing. Instead, he was constantly being bailed out. Which goes to 2 points. First off, if you let your anger get the better of you, and someone comes in and saves you, you haven't learned anything. You've got to control your anger. If you continually are saving an angry man from the consequences of his anger, of his actions, he's not going to learn anything. Because you're going to have to keep saving him over and over and over again. The second thing is that it lend itself to was this, Proverbs 19:13. A stupid son, a foolish son, is the consuming ruin of his father. That person wasted the substance of his grandparents when they came to bail him out. And that is all I'm going to have time for today. There are more nuggets in here. I hope that you can continue digging, because there are more nuggets in there to dig for. You might have to use some dynamite to blow them out. But I'm going to tell you, it's definitely worth the effort to dig them out. Hope you've been encouraged and uplifted. And remember, there be gold in them pages. Keep digging. I'll see you then.